These sweet potato tacos are so delicious and healthy, they are the perfect weeknight dinner. I'm Justin from Cooking with Coit. I specialize in clean comfort cooking. And remember, if you love this video, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Let's get started. Let's first go over all the ingredients you need to make this recipe. Sweet potato, refried beans, Greek yogurt, taco seasoning. You guys can use my taco seasoning. I can link to it in the description below. Salt, lime, corn tortillas, garlic, honey, olive oil, and cilantro. All right, everybody, I am so excited to show you these sweet potato tacos today. They are perfect if you are looking for just a little bit of a break from meat. I love ground beef, I love ground chicken, I love any kind of protein that you put in tacos, but sometimes I feel like for health reasons, I wanna take a little bit of break from meat. I wanna eat a little bit more plant-based, get a little more kind of veggies and good starches in my diet. So these sweet potato tacos are the perfect answer for that. First thing we're gonna do is to peel the sweet potato. My recipe calls for 1 medium sweet potato. You could up it if you want to feed a few more people by doing, 2 small sweet potatoes or even 2 medium ones. But I'm just going to make 1 medium sweet potato today because it's just me eating these tacos. Next, we need to cut this sweet potato into cube-sized shapes. I would say an inch, inch and a half if you want to be really specific in terms of the length of these guys. When I'm going to cube any kind of a tougher vegetable or starch, what I like to do is just cut off the bottom here. Actually, a little bit bigger than that. Cut off like kind of a large swatch of the bottom. That's gonna give you a nice flat surface to work with. Then you roll it over, and notice now you've got a nice stable sweet potato to work with. So when you're cutting it, it's less likely to roll and for you to cut your finger. Then I like to cut long strips. Kind of keep in mind about an inch, half an inch, somewhere in there in terms of thickness. And just take your time because sweet potatoes can be very firm and hard to cut. You just wanna be careful not to cut your finger. The last cut here is always a little sketchy because you've kind of lost that stability. But what I like to do is just go slow. There's no rushing. And there we go. And then once you have these long sheets to work with, then all you have to do is just kind of decide again how long you want the pieces, and then the same with all the rest of the pieces. Now that we've got our sweet potato cubed, let's just take it and drop it into a medium mixing bowl. And next, you need to grab out some taco seasoning. If you have a favorite brand that you always have in your pantry, just grab that. If you don't have a favorite brand and you've actually run out, you should definitely check out my taco seasoning on my website. It is right here. It's beautiful, it's incredibly delicious, and it will most certainly save you money from buying it at the store and from having to just do the travel time, so I highly suggest you make mine. So next we're going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil to the sweet potato, and we are also going to add 1 tablespoon of my taco seasoning. One brand of taco seasoning that you guys should definitely check out is the Siete taco seasoning. If you don't wanna make your own, check out that brand. And now we just wanna give the sweet potato and the taco seasoning and olive oil a nice mix so that it is all well combined. Hey guys, just a reminder, all of the recipes that you see on my YouTube channel are also on my website. You're gonna find the full ingredients and instructions there also, so check the link in the description below the video. Next up, we need to take our seasoned sweet potato, just drop it onto a baking sheet, just like this. I like to give the sweet potato a little bit of air in between the pieces so that it's gonna roast really nicely in the oven. And I've already forgotten to tell you guys to preheat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry. So just give these sweet potato pieces a nice bit of space. Keep in mind too that these pieces are going to shrink up as they cook in the oven. So if you're thinking these pieces look a little bit too big for smaller corn tortillas, you are right, but they are definitely going to shrink in the oven.
Did you forget one?
Oh, my cameraman Aman just reminded me that there's a little piece. He does not like food waste, and I don't either, so thank you, Aman, for reminding me. There we go. Now we are going to pop these in the oven, again, 425 degrees. They're gonna bake for anywhere between 25 and 35 minutes. You just wanna bake them until they're a little bit fork tender. While the sweet potato is baking in the oven, now we're gonna move on and use this time to make the sauce. So first, grab out your Greek yogurt. This is a 5.3 ounce container of Greek yogurt, and my recipe calls for a half a cup, which 8 ounces to a cup, so 4 ounces. If you need to add a little bit of extra Greek yogurt, that's totally fine. I'm gonna do it because I hate not using a whole container because it feels like I'm just kind of wasting it. Like I'm never gonna use that little bit extra that I'm gonna leave in the cup. So just use all 5.3 if you need to. And when I'm blending a sauce like this, what I really like to do is to start with the liquids on the bottom and then work my way up to the top with the lighter ingredients. And the reason is that if you start with like herbs on the bottom, what can happen is that the blades of the blender can get stuck on those herbs, which is a bummer and kind of annoying. So start with your liquids on the bottom. That's the best way to go. Next, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, followed by the juice of a half a lime. Next, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of honey, and the honey gives this sauce such a nice bit of contrast with the flavor, a little bit of sweetness, and it contrasts really nicely with the Greek yogurt, because the Greek yogurt's a little bit kind of tart. A little bit of sweet really helps this sauce. We're also gonna add 1 clove of garlic. Just drop it right in. Peeled, of course. I don't know if I need to tell you guys that, but just peel it before you put it in there. And add a half a cup of chopped cilantro. Now, when I was preparing the cilantro, I made sure not to include any of the thickest part of the stems because that's not gonna taste great, and it's also gonna contribute to the blade getting a little bit more stuck. So just use the thinner parts of the stems and the leaves. We're also gonna add a half a teaspoon of salt. So this sauce it's a cilantro lime crema sauce. It's one of my favorite sauces. But the ingredients do get stuck in the blender. All you have to do is add a little bit of water just to kind of loosen it up. I like to start a teaspoon at a time. You don't want to add too much water too quickly, or you might water down and make the sauce a watery texture, which is not what you want. All right, so we do need to add a little bit of water, but we're not far away. As little as you can. You also might want to grab out your spatula and just scrape down the sides, move everything around in the blender. That's gonna help the process as well. But it's already smelling amazing. And one quick note, if you guys like a spicy sauce, definitely add half a jalapeno, a full jalapeno, whatever you want. It's gonna only make it better. Okay, I think that did the trick. So let me show you guys how it's all looking right now. So we're about halfway through the cooking time on the sweet potatoes. I popped them out of the oven because I just want to show you how they're looking. They're getting nice and crispy and very beautiful looking. But what I like to do is just give them a little bit of movement in the sheet pan. About halfway through is fine. If you forget and you do it a little bit more towards the end, that's okay too. But just give them a little bit of movement, and then we are going to pop them back into the oven for the rest of the cooking time. All right, so the timer for the sweet potato has just gone off, so let's see how we did. Ooh, yes. Okay, this sweet potato is looking absolutely beautiful. It is perfectly seasoned, and let's do the fork test and make sure it's tender. Nice and tender. These are going to be amazing in the tacos. All right, so the time has come that we can assemble all these ingredients into these delicious sweet potato tacos. First thing you're gonna do is heat up your refried beans if you haven't already. I've already gone ahead and done that. So what I like to do is take a layer of refried beans, put it right on the top of your tortilla. By the way, I have already heated up these tortillas, and the way that I like to do it is I put them over a gas range so that the flame is actually hitting the tortilla. And the reason why I do that is because having a little bit of that flame gives the tortilla a little bit of a char, and it really brings out all of the excellent and incredible flavor of the tortilla. It's way better than warming them up in a pan or even in the microwave. So do it the way I suggested if you can. Next, we're going to add some of our sweet potato, and this is completely to taste depending on the size of your tortillas. Next, I'm going to add our delicious cilantro lime crema sauce that we made earlier. Just do a little bit of that right on top. And then I love to top these tacos off with a little bit more fresh chopped cilantro. You could add a little bit of cheese. I don't have any cheese with me today. Now, if you guys have some queso fresco or cotija cheese, that will go great on these tacos as well. I don't have any today, so I'm not gonna put any on. I also love to add a little bit of fresh sliced avocado right on top. And then for the final touch, I'm going to add a fresh squeeze of lime juice. And there we go. How beautiful do these sweet potato tacos look? I cannot wait to give them a try. But before I do, if you love this recipe and you want to see more just like it, check out my Mexican recipes playlist. Okay, let's give it a try. These sweet potato tacos are so incredibly delicious, and as you guys have seen, they're so easy to make. They are the perfect thing to have when you're ready for a little bit of a break from meat. Guys, you've got to give them a try. I hope you do. See you in the next video.